October 10th, 11th, and 12th, the Physician Leadership Academy kicked off its year-long work by hosting a 3-day retreat for all participants on the art of hosting conversations that matter. There are two little pieces that I can share with everyone about what went on the 3-day weekend. Of course, it's very much a snippet of the whole weekend, but I think there are a few things that everyone can appreciate that can be used by any of us as leaders in medicine or not. One of the things we talk about in the art of hosting conversations that matter is a principle, or we call it a fourfold path, of which I'm just going to talk about two of the pieces of that. One, and really the most important one, is hosting yourself. And that means just what it says. People who are going to be hosting meetings, who are going to be chairing meetings, who are responsible in leadership positions for convening people to do good work, need to be hosting oneself. And it means just that. It means all of the things about taking care of yourself, eating well, getting enough sleep, all those kinds of things. But on a micro level, it has some meaning to even on a day-to-day basis as you enter a meeting. Whatever condition we're in when we go into a meeting to chair it or participate in it, convene it, whatever our role is, whatever condition we're in will affect what goes on in that meeting and what the outcome will be. If we've just left another meeting in which we've left there angry, upset, and we do nothing to affect that condition before we go into the next meeting that we're going to chair, you will bring that anger and disappointment into the next meeting. It's inevitable. If it's wintertime and you've just slid through a red light and you're feeling really afraid and nervous from what just happened, and you don't do something to interrupt that situation before you go into the next meeting, you will affect the outcome of that meeting. So along with long-term taking care of yourself, it also means to pay attention to what condition you are in at the moment you're going into leading a meeting. So if I've just had that circumstance where I've had a very bad meeting, or I've had a situation which I slid through the red light, to simply take 1 minute to sit quietly, take a deep breath, become aware, I'm feeling really nervous right now, I'm feeling really angry right now. Take a deep breath to slow down and be aware that now that I walk into this next meeting, I don't want my anger, I don't want my fear to interfere with what's happening in this meeting. The likelihood of it interfering in the next meeting, because you took that 30 seconds or a minute break, took a deep breath, became aware of what was going on inside of you, that will not end up affecting what happens in that meeting. It's a very simple little practice. Becoming aware of yourself by taking a deep breath, recognizing your internal situation, and making a decision to not have that affect what happens in the next meeting. So host yourself in the largest scale and in the smallest scale. Host yourself if you're going to be an effective convener of people. The other thing that we talk about is practicing being in conversations. And I think the operative word there is being in conversations consciously. Most of the time, when we're in conversations, we're in them in a very unconscious kind of way. There's a give and take, and we're really not aware of ourselves and the other person in those conversations. To simply say, wait a minute, what's going on in this conversation? Am I really being heard? If not, to be able to stop the conversation and say, let's take a break for a second. There's so much going on here, I'm not sure we're hearing each other, is a way of practicing being in conversations consciously. You can affect the entire tenor of a meeting by being aware of what's going on with you in the meeting, and by using good questions. For instance, you can be in a meeting, and we're often in meetings. In fact, I would say most of the time we're in meetings in which the purpose of the meeting isn't clear. And we can go on for a long time in that meeting and sit there and be confused about what we're really trying to accomplish. Where by just asking the simple question, could somebody clarify for me what the purpose is for the meeting that we're in right now? You can shift the entire conversation to one that's more productive. Not trying to subvert the meeting, but just to clarify the meeting. So if there's a question inside of you when you're in a conversation, one-on-one, with a group of people, that question, if articulated, is probably being held by other people in the group as well. And that question can make the meeting that much better if you're willing to take the risk and ask it. In the case of being in a one-on-one or a one-on-two conversation, being aware of what is going on in the conversation with me and with the other person, and then practicing how to make that conversation more effective, just by being conscious of ourselves in the context of conversations that we're in every day. Two simple things that can help you as a leader be more effective in convening and being part of conversations.